Would I say that I acknowledge my human flaw?
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, I'm not angel, but the fact that I know there is the grace of God. Why are you starting it?
How is life going?
Well, we give God the glory. Julius, thank you for the invitation. And let me say good afternoon to listeners on OKFM in Liberia, online, good day wherever you are. Let me give special acknowledgement with your approval to Radio Bourgeois.
Okay. Oh, they are carrying
Yeah, carry of life on Radio Bourgeois 98.1. And good day wherever you are following us on the social media.
Radio Bourgeois, welcome to all those following there. Let's jump straight into it. One of the hottest issues in town is the supplementary budget that has now gone before you people. What will be your focus as the Senator of Montserrat County?
Well, I think you did justice to the draft budget. You know, interestingly, already the public is for the draft. As if to say we submitted the draft, you know. Then the legislature, they want to put the other one on the side. You see, then do the other one like that. No, we just got it. So the supplemental, like you know, is addition to what was passed for 2026. That means the money goes up, the budget goes up, the projection goes up about 45 million to fill in some gaps, some priority areas. And sometimes we politicians will take the microphone and it comes across as though we want to appear to be, and you know, very, very fine and with the people. For the $45 million, I'm not going to beat my head on it. I'm just keen on more money for the AFL, especially where I sit in national leadership, chairman on Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. The level of diplomacy that we have to, you know, and continue to go through regarding the border situation, the role Liberia is playing, especially on the Security Council. For the $45 million supplemental budget, I will be more keen on additional money for the AFL. Except that the AFL will have to justify the money, because to ask for money is easy. What you want to do with it should also be a concern.
Because I am told they made a representation for $4 million.
So and thankfully, but in a humble way, I am a member of the Defense, Security, Intelligence, and Veteran Affairs Committee of the Senate. So I sit on the Security Committee of the Senate. We are engaging with the Ministry of Defense so that we can get a clear picture. What the President, through the Finance Minister, sent before the legislature is proposal, draft is proposal. If we pass it as is, it means we the one appropriated it. So what it is right now is draft suggested appropriation. When we agree with it as it is, or we do some shifting, then we have done appropriation in keeping with the legislative power granted by the Constitution to the legislature. So for the $45 million, I'm going to be keen on the army. You know, the number of persons in your army does not tell the strength of your army. Maybe some people don't know. You can put everybody in Liberia of age in the army. You just have a number of persons in the army. It doesn't make your army strong. The intelligence capacity, by logistics, the weapons, and all those things, and, you know, will determine your naval, your navy, your Air Force, your, you know, infantry, and the kind of weapons you have can determine the strength of your army, not the number of persons in the army. But as it is, the current number of persons in the army, even in the absence of sufficiency of, you know, arsenal, the current number, in my view, is low. We need to increase that number. So for the $45 million, I'm not going to play no hero. I'm not going to be making noise all over the place. I'm going to be keen on getting AFL this year to start recruitment with increased number of persons, while at the same time we're doing everything to get logistics for the army. Don't forget, the more persons you have in the army, you need more logistics, including housing. The army man will not go live to your home.
And more pay.
And more pay. The army man will not go live in his community to a house. Once he's enrolled in the army, he's going in the barracks. And the more people you have, you enroll, then the more housing units,
the more food.
The more food. So, people will say, sometimes, people used to say, Senator Taylor, you need to increase your security. It's easy to say, I got one car. If I increase my security, they will be jogging behind the car. It means I need additional car, additional fuel to fuel that car. And some of us, we are human beings. I know most of my colleagues, or all of them, we feed our security and drivers almost every day. It may not be the big amount for the lunch per week. And then you transport them home, and then they come back to work every day. So the more security you have, the more logistics, other logistics you would require. But be that as it may, we as a country must show that we are serious about our army. But we got to do it in a time that, especially when the budget is before us for 2027. This $45 million surplus or additional on the already $1.2 billion budget. I hear people, oh, they put it on one other side, all the priority need. You take something from here, you put it on this side, say the other side ain't getting nothing, why you put the other one on this side? I am, as a lawmaker, and one of the leaders of the country, I am more keen on the army.
Okay, Senator Taylor, more keen on the army in the supplementary budget. That will be his area of argument. Now, the next hottest thing is about concessions. This is hot because all countries, most countries, two resources, the human resource and the natural resources. In this case, our natural resources have come under the spotlight again, especially with the visit of the Vice President to Bee Mountain in Grand Cape Mount County. First of all, what do you know? What historical background do you know about Bee Mountain?
Chief, we got plenty to face in the country. Plenty. We got to face ourselves. Once we face ourselves, we can face plenty in the country.
Why do you say that?
Bee Mountain came here 2001. Under President Taylor. The argument then will be that the Taylor government will find any means to bring in investment to grow the economy and put our people to job. And during the kind of period after war, the environment is not yet secure. People don't trust the security of the environment with their money. So they will be negotiating on their terms. And then the government will be at a disadvantage. Now, I am not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to give a background. So by 2001, under President Taylor, not many investors thought Liberia was attractive from a security standpoint, the security of their investment. And I want to take it that, so the government was at a disadvantage. Notwithstanding, Bee Mountain came and became a legal entity in our country to extract our natural mineral resources, as in diamond. When Madam Salif became president in 2006, they decided that they will restate the agreement to make some amendments so that it can conform to the reality of the day then. Yeah, it's still on Madam Sadi first time. One of the refrains that we had in the country was whichever war. Anything we talk whichever war. Insurance companies, insurance were hard to even do business for foreign entities to come there. So, under the circumstances, Madam Sadi government did what it could do, and they did some restatement of the renewal agreement with B Mountain, and I think they extended by another 15 years or so. B Mountain current contract is supposed to expire by 2029, 2030. And then in 2023, B Mountain surfaced before the legislature 2-3 months to the election. They want 25 years. And now we are in the Senate at the time. Mm-hmm. So some of us will put up the argument that 2 months to election, why the CDC government rushing the B Mountain? If you're sure winning, when you win, you have all the time in the world to now sit down proper and negotiate proper terms now. Because the democracy of our country is fledgling, the security of investment is more, convenient and all that stuff. Or why you want to put the next government in case you don't win, why you want the next government to inherit whole 25 years? Stuff. But we didn't get a vote.
I remember we made all the noise to even see that agreement. We didn't see it until it was passed later.
Yeah.
Before we could see it.
Yes. So it was Senator, now the pro tem, but she was, of course, Senator of Grand Bassa County, she still is, but she was not pro tem. It was Nyombi Kanga Lawrence, Senator Jonathan Borcha Subwe, Senator Steve Zago, and myself, Darius Dillon, who voted on the record. One of the things, normally you will notice I don't like but one of the things I was able to get the Senate to do, maybe send a phone of this country, let me use that cliche too, to get us to vote on the record on crucial things. So nobody can deny their vote or their action on these crucial things. That is why you see everybody who was senator or representative in 2023 can come out or didn't vote if they voted opposite. Because especially in the Senate, with their record. Mm-hmm. I voted against B Mountain. Nyombi Kanga Lawrence voted against B Mountain. Steve Zago did vote against B Mountain, and Jonathan Subwe voted against B Mountain. There were one or two persons who abstained. There were some people who were absent that day when the vote took place. I remember that very well because I was leading that charge against.
Why were you against? Remind us.
Because if a company been here since 2001, under the circumstances that it came, the environment started to get better, and you doing business unhindered, for lack of a better word, or not being disturbed. The environment, the security environment is not disturbing your business. No force majeure and all of that stuff. And your part of the bargain, you can't even comply. Housing facilities, medical facilities, social development funding and all that stuff, you can't even comply. Why am I extending you by 25 years? By even 1 year? I asked the sector institutions that were representing the government, the executive branch, and I need to say this, Julius. Mm-hmm. The executive branch of the government, any government, in a democracy like ours, including our current government, the executive branch has all the time in the world to go look for investors, negotiate with the investors, no rush, agree on terms and conditions, and sign it. And then if it requires ratification, Then they send it to the legislature. They want it in 2 weeks. After you take 1 year, negotiate, go back and forth on terms and agreement. You do a bucket agreement. You sign it. You send it to the legislature for attestation, what we call ratification, where the legislature can't change anything in it. They either vote yes as it is or vote no to send it back. And the legislature has 1 or 2 weeks.
But why does the legislature make itself so compliant or suppliant to that kind of attitude?
Because there are plenty heads working together. The framers of the Constitution thought that 2 heads, 3 heads would be better. But when there are 2, 3 heads, 10 heads, 103 heads, like we are in the legislature, but there's also political heads. Partisan sentiment, party mandate heads. You won't go anywhere. Party mandate, party sentiment will take charge. I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. So, but the executive of the country is one person. It's the president. The whole executive branch is the president. The whole legislative branch of the country, that 103 president, majority got to agree. Majority of the 103 persons from both houses have to agree
or disagree.
Or disagree before something passes or doesn't pass. In the judiciary, 3 at most. I mean, at least 3 or all of them. But once they get 3, it's the ruling of the court is binding. Even if other 2 doesn't agree. But in the executive, the whole executive branch is the president. One person, whether that person is man or woman, whether it was Ellen or John Weir or Bwaka right now, whether it will be Julius Chair tomorrow, the executive branch of the republic in any democracy, including America, is one person. That is why people who in the executive serve at the pleasure of the president. But when you have a branch of government where elected people feel indispensable in terms of nobody can sack me here, and then partisan politics and sentiment, and it is discouraging.
So it's like the point I was making the other day about we always negotiate from a position of weakness.
No, you see, let me tell you something. We don't negotiate from a position of weakness, especially in a day and age. We are not in a war era. For me, that's not an excuse. It just, let me use that word that many people always hope. It just takes spine, character and spine. Forget it. In the absence of those, forget it.
In terms of minerals, there is something that you all may not have taken into consideration that I believe now should be taken into consideration is the 2000 mining law, which places these royalties at not below 3%, not more than 10%. Do you think it is something to look at that mining law?
Changing time, changing reality. When the mining law was enacted in early 2000 under President Taylor, of course, you understand that the flexibility to have royalty from 3% but not more than 10% was to give window to attract investment in the country. We were coming from war. But the fact that the law gives flexibility that it shouldn't go below 3%, but it shouldn't be beyond 10% because maybe I may be wrong, somebody can correct me. I'm not too sure what a royalty in any country goes beyond 10%. I may be wrong. But in the case of our law, we say the base is 3%, it shouldn't go below. But then also you can stretch it up to 10%, it should not go up beyond 10%. Why are we always negotiating on the floor? The 3%.
Because that's what happened in 2023.
Exactly.
The 3%
in 2023, the 3% remain because it is clear that 2 months of election, a government sitting won't pass an agreement for 25 years, either believing that it will win the election, or maybe we can win so that our last cashier. You can understand that aspect. Who does it right? The country. Who gets beat up? The legislature, the institution that did not have all the time in the world, like the executive, to review, negotiate, change one paper, change draft, correct it, and reevaluate, all that thing. By the time it gets, you see the president call about for 10 days? 10 working days. That means Monday to Friday. Once no holiday in those 10, 5 weekdays. Then a Monday to Friday, then another Monday to Friday. That 10 working days we are back for. To do what? Authorize the printing of money and pass a supplemental budget. We got 10 days to do it. How many days a week did the executive take to decide whether we're going to print money through the central bank? How many weeks? How many months? How many weeks? How many months did the executive take to put their draft supplemental budget together? But we are restricted to 10 days. Now, must we do it in these 10 days? If it is not feasible, no. The war won't fall. We'll come back from break, or the president, if we believe that this 10 days is not sufficient to give us all of the information and the reason, justification to approve the printing of money, we inform the president of the 10 days finish will close. We inform the president that the 10 days you call for, it wasn't possible because we didn't get all the information that we wanted, not the justification we wanted. So 10 days finish will go on. If you want to come back, you extend it or you wait until we come from our regular break. At that time, we have relaxed period to go through these things. But it can't happen when plenty of people making that kind of decision, and we are all politicians with party sentiment and all that thing. Opposition mentality and all that.
Going to the Cape Mountain area, have you been to the King George or the area where you have the Blue Mountain?
No, I haven't been to King George.
But you've seen pictures and all of that. What do you think about citizens concerned about resources leaving their buildings and all of that? And then there's not really something to show, especially where these resources are coming from.
That's one of the reasons why in 2022, we were able, by the grace of God, I want to put it that way, to get the support of the Senate. We led that charge to start the extension of ArcelorMittal in 2022.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah. We started the extension of ArcelorMittal in 2022. Unfortunately, we could not start the extension of B Martin in 2023, 2 months to election. Common sense will tell you that say you the sitting government, you want extended thing by 25 years and we're going to election, say you show you a win, don't rush. Or in the interest of the country, leave it for the next government to have a standing and better place to come renegotiate current terms. But we didn't do it. As a government, we failed. But now, we all take the beating because everybody is a vote in the country. And even if your record is clear that you didn't vote for this, they probably just generally beat everybody. And I didn't kind of appeal for sentiment.
Yeah, others say, well, Senator Daniel, can I say this? He is talking about the stalling of ArcelorMittal, but he's on record for voting for the same ArcelorMittal deal later.
Yes,
on.
that's true. I voted for ArcelorMittal this going December.
Was it better? Was it?
Yes. In 2022, we asked ArcelorMittal, where is the state of the art hospital you should have built? You built it since 2004. You should have built. ArcelorMittal did not have hospital. They were using the old language hospital in Basel. Go to Grand Basel today, ArcelorMittal has built a modern state-of-the-art medical facility. They're not renting. They didn't renovate. They built a completely brand new hospital in Grand Basel County. Thankfully, I'm on FM where the fact check out can be already. And I said, they're not talking, all the things are talking, they're only looking for the place where I was at. 2, in 2022, all the years ArcelorMittal been, they've been dodging from building what it, ordinarily we used to call it washing plant. It is the concentration plant. Since ArcelorMittal been here, they always used to say we're holding the material, bringing the material in, with Ebola king, that we would not build a plant. Oh no, COVID-19. We stopped ArcelorMittal from extending until they built the beneficiary plant. They built a beneficiary plant in Nima County. The beneficiary plant is the factory or whatever means by which when you take in iron ore out of Liberia, you wash it inside there and it's separated ore from any other thing. So anything you shipping is only the ore. Any other thing will leave in Liberia is for Liberia. But right now as it is, as it was throughout the period, until ArcelorMittal now built this plant, until they start operating the plant, they just grab everything, put it in the iron ore, in the twin trap bucket, ship it. So when they carry it to the place where they can clean it, wash it, now separate the ore from any other thing, anything they find there, any mineral they find there, is for them because of the country. This beneficiary plant will separate the ore from any other mineral or any dye or sand. It will leave in Liberia for us. We can use it for different things. ArcelorMittal ore deal that will start in 2022, they were paying $50,000 per year for mining fees. Under this new agreement, ArcelorMittal will be paying $500,000, $500,000 every year to the government of Liberia for mining fees. Under this new agreement, ArcelorMittal used to pay $1.5 million to NEMA, $750,000 there around there to Grand Bazaar, and $500,000 to Bon County because they're taking it over from NEMA, they're shipping it through Bon, and then ship it through the port of Buchanan. They transport it through Bon and they ship it through the port of Buchanan. Under this new agreement, NEMA will get around $3 million, Bon will get I think $1.5 million, and Grand Bazaar will get $2.5. And the money has increased. There are other taxes that ArcelorMittal will pay. There are other royalties that ArcelorMittal will pay. So this current ArcelorMittal deal, which is also up, it can be reviewed every 5 years, is far better than what was inherited, and thankfully we stalled it in 2022. If the weird government, and some of us even on the rescue mission today, who were opposition senators, if we have stuck our guns to stall B. Martin in August, September of 2023, we have had B. Martin now up because B. Martin contract they wanted to extend will expire in the next 2-3 years. If we are not extended by 25 years, in 2023, this government will have had the latitude and the space to sit down and do the...
Are there not provisions therein that the government can look at? What do you recommend in order to salvage some of the problems that are coming up?
Why don't you get 50 years agreement on a contract law? They get something they call significant non-performance. That's ground for review or cancellation. When you significantly, you are not performing, even if you have 100-year term agreement, in 1-2 years, that's ground for review or termination because you are not performing significantly. It's in the contract a principle of contract law. And so, but we as a government, instead of us now shifting blame, that all the things we came to rescue, take responsibility. Let's get back to the drawing board.
Part of the mineral law of 2000, and a whole lot of these agreements talk about employment of Liberians after 7 years, mostly Liberians in key areas, in non-skilled areas and all of that. In skilled areas, if you cannot find a Liberian, I read it yesterday, it's in that mine of 2000.
Yes.
Is there any reason why you go to these companies, in fact, in their own MDAs, they say after so year we have country cannot achieve God. These are all part of the problems.
Oh God. I don't care how much we rewrite our laws. Anything already in the law.
It is
the investor will not implement the law.
Why?
But we the one who have to implement the law. If the investor is not abiding by the law, then it's still upon us as government with the authority to compel or ensure compliance. But we pass law, we say their position it should be for Liberian. Before the foreigner can occupy that position, ain't need work permit. That the investor can get himself work permit. The private sector can get work permit. That is the government. We the same government. It's just that the branch of government that doing this breach, we should have the oversight to stand our ground. So say it shouldn't happen. Well, politics can take over. I'm coming, Julia. I'm coming, Julia. You pass mineral agreement. You say the mineral agreement, and you will be 10 in management. The 4 should be Liberians. After 5 years, 8 should be Liberian. For instance, every year you give in a non-Liberian work permit to occupy that position, that a non-Liberian violating the law or not respecting it, you don't want aiding and abetting as a government. So we are responsible as a government. We are doing this to the people in the country.
And this brings in the National Bureau of Concessions as well. Are they playing the role they're supposed to play? Let me read section 20.2 of the Mining Law of 2020.3. No operator, its contractors or subcontractors under this law shall employ foreign unskilled labor. To the maximum extent feasible, an operator, its contractors, and all subcontractors shall give preference and employ Liberian citizens at all levels of that operation structure, particularly in skilled technical, administrative, financial, and managerial positions. 20.3, training of Liberian citizens. Any and all operations, their contractors or subcontractors shall provide on a continuing basis appropriate training for their Liberian employees in order to qualify them for skilled technical, financial, administrative, and managerial positions. That's the law.
Yeah, we finished passing a law. Why was 3 functions? Lawmaking, oversight, and responsibility and representation. We finished passing the law.
You made the law.
The executive is not implementing the law. Our oversight function is just the authority. So when the people say the legislature is a problem, I used to feel bad first. I understand it now.
But you tried to raise some of those issues, and you fell in trouble. Did your Senate colleagues, did the Senate back you up?
Well, the fact that the Senate will agree for us to cite the Minister of Labor on numerous occasions, because one senator can cite a sector institution. It must be by a committee or plenary. One senator can request or invite. Invitation is by choice. Citation is a command, so to speak. So the fact that every time I raise this issue in the Senate, especially on labor ministry and the work permit issue, and we got the blessing of the committee and or plenary to cite the minister, it means the Senate majority has been supporting. It is, in my view, the refusal of the executive to understand that if we have 5,000 foreign-owned stores across Liberia, 5,000, let's go to the low-hanging fruit. 5,000 foreign-owned stores across Liberia, it will be more. But let's take it, in fact, let's just take it at 2,000. Let's say there are 2,000 foreign-owned businesses, like stores, commercial merchandise stores, across the whole country. Don't get one work permit for store board in any of the 2,000 stores. Employ Liberians in those 2,000 stores.
2,000 jobs.
There are 2,000 jobs, and you reduce Zigways and Muya by 2,000 employment in the private sector. Most of these stores got 2 or 3. Not one store board, 2, 3 store boards. Don't put no foreigner store boards. Now, so I'm not reducing Liberians only to store boards. But consider whether there are 5,000 cars owned by all the BB businesses, concessions across the country. 5,000 cars. Ford Firestone fleet, ArcelorMittal fleet, B Mountain, Western Cross. I can do the heavy duty equipment and you just the SUV or the pickups. Put it at 4,000-5,000. Don't give no foreigner work permit to be driver in Liberia. You have created 5,000 jobs in the driving vocation.
Other countries can achieve it.
Other countries can achieve it because they decide to achieve it. We have decided we want. And what is even more discouraging is that some of the people you're fighting for, that you don't want to get paid fighting for them. When I stood up in this country in my own government for more than 6 months to 1 year on a work permit issue, you saw civil society backing, you saw driver union people backing, but just go to the Capitol building tomorrow, that will be part. They won't know whether they will move somebody from the hall or they will not move it. They did not interested in that report and the politics that does not benefit them. When I was talking about work permit for nurses, for plumbers, for electricians, for carpenters, for welders, did you see the trade union people come say, we're backing this call? No. But there were more press statements issued against me that I'm attacking a particular person in a particular contest. And even some of the people who were issuing the press statement against me, they're jobless. I was not fighting for partisan employment, I was fighting for employment for Liberians. And some of these jobs paying $2,000-$3,000, $400-$500. But what did we do as a government? We thought increasing the work permit fee will solve the problem.
Well, is there something you can advance with the president? Because again, the resources are leaving. People seem now, given the angle around this, to be shining their eyes more. How do we turn the resource curse into a blessing?
Courage, spine, will. If you open the lines right now, there are some people who, with my own rescue base, not happy. Somebody who was not happy with me in opposition may be happy right now. That's a country with me. Vice versa. Look, courage, spine, will can change this country. I've been in national leadership, consequentially in opposition under the last government. I'm in national leadership consequentially. I've seen two sides. Will, courage, spine, no fear, no favor. Anything short of that will change dollars. They don't bring Julius there. Then we start getting fellow Julius there. Then we change Julius there. We bring dealer. Then we start getting. Then we just change faces. The people who not there talk, they come back. The people who move on their talk, it's sinking.
His name is Senator Darius DeLong of Montserrado County. This is a heartfelt conversation around our resources. And of course, he has spoken his. Let's hear from you. 777-700-995-555-995-995. The numbers to call. Let's take a few calls right here, right now. Welcome. Let's hear you. Yes, go ahead quickly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Liberation. And let me say this to that since 1847 up to present, Liberia have never had a senator that has been more critical on critical national issues.
Let's leave all that one. The man set tired with that thing. Let's talk about the issue on ground. We got enough time, Chief. Yeah.
No, but what's the issue now? The issue there, when people step some problem that we left from different constituents, different counties, and not doing nothing, or who did a complaint and then bring out the lines and having that, he's the only one that advocating. That's the issue there. I'm saying to people, yeah, any attempt for those marching politicians politicians to attack on Reverend Dara Dillon and mean they are attacking. We the people of most of our country, they must suffer.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Since 1847. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's the name?
Good evening, Julius. Yeah, how you doing? Mike here.
Go ahead.
I said to myself the other day that sometime back I will be voting for any representative and senator as far back as 2011. Sorry, 2017 I voted for one representative, my friend. He didn't win, but I did it out of my pensions. 2020, I'm proud that I voted for Darius. 2023, I didn't vote for anybody. Sorry, Mr. Senator, I'm calling you Darius.
No problem.
And because of the way he has taken his job, tomorrow, I can say if Abraham Darius Dillon on the ballot again, I have Mike Fayette, they will vote for him again. And is that because of anything extra or but the way he carries his job? And because he has done exactly what I look for in a representative, in a senator, I will always vote for him. I just want to say thank you for what he's doing.
Okay. Thanks so kindly as well. Let's come overseas. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Julius, and good morning to Senator Abraham Dara Dillon from North Dakota, USA. Senator, I've always been one man who believes in your wisdom, and I'm so happy that Liberia got somebody like you. Despite people refuse to stand up to see the truth and the reality in somebody like you, there's a reason our country continues to go backward. And let me say this. Look at the tape that is being circulating on Facebook. Looking at Minister Samuel Twe to ask a simple question. Did they construct? He's talking about a medical doctor taking care of him, which of course is one of the people who they claim in our country that know both. He could not answer that question he's talking about when he went to talk, the doctor took care of him. It's a shame and disgrace. I see people running on Facebook attacking you, whereby the reality is out there and the fact is being shown to all the length and breadth of Liberia. But Senator Dillon, let me say this to you. You have played your part. History will judge you, and we will remember that we have somebody that could stand up for the Liberian people. And let me say this to you, Julius. What has happened to our country? It is no politics. It is beyond CDC. It is beyond Unity Party. It is about time Liberian benefit from their resources.
Thanks so kindly, Jacob, for your call. Let's take orders. Sorry, folks. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, thank you. Yeah, this is Musa Sharif.
Go ahead, Musa. Former Representative Kennedy.
Yeah, that's correct. Tonaton and I will be in the house. Okay, Julius, let me say thank you to is responsible for everything that happens. The political will is not there. Now that Senator Dillon himself is talking about it, it's true. The scenario he gave in is a fact. Government can create jobs in many ways. Government has too much latitude. Government is put into place to help the citizens, the country, the people in the country, they know that they cannot manage themselves. That's why we elect the government. We give them everything. We give them access to money. We give them access to guns. We give them access to everything to manage. Oh, yesterday they failed. Senator has the ear of the president. Senator has to talk to the president. They need to do something in this country. Why should it be like that? I mean, Senator, you're buying time maybe to try to, get back the people's attention to him. That will not stop the problem.
Okay. Let him get it. Years of the
period of this nation can do anything and everything. All of The president of this nation can do anything and everything. All other government in this country, they are useless. Besides the presidency.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Let's go to Australia. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good morning, Parker. Julius, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
I'm good. Yeah, so basically,
what is your name, first of all?
Conversation between you and Senator Darius DeLong.
What is your name, first of all, sir?
It's Alfred Brownell Jr.
Okay.
Now, what I would like to say is that I think we are not being fair with the conversation around natural resources. Senator DeLong mentioned that the Bill Martin concession agreement was amended in 2023. That's right. But similar principles of amendment apply to the Firestone concession, for example. So the Firestone concession was granted on the basis of 99 years, 0.5 cents per acre. Now, that concession was renewed and amended in 2019. Now, compare and contrast both concessions. A concession awarded for 99 years, reviewed in 2019, that's around 93 years. Compare the concession that was awarded in 2001, amended in 2023, that is around 23 or so years. That have not all lived their 100 years. But the key issue that is being missing in the entire conversation is that we as a government, as a people, have not been able to assess the allocation rates and benefits of the resources to the people. There's an issue of sovereignty and regulatory compliance control. We have also not been able to assess. Senator DeLong mentioned substantial non-performance compliance. Now, yes, every single corporation that operated or greater concession in Liberia have had substantial performance issues because there is lack of compliance regulatory framework. The Bureau of Concessions does not have the tools and means to ensure compliance. Now, there's the same issue around the issue of whether the concessions were legal or not. Now, take for example the appointment of the chairman of the National Elections Commission.
Okay, because of time, sir. Sorry, that's because of time. We come back to him. We have just 1 minute, sir.
We must take responsibility of what we inherited and change it. Blame shifting will not help us. There are some huge positives about this government. With this government, there are huge prospects to be different. Are we there? No. Are we on the road? Hopefully. Are we exactly where we were when we took over? Nobody can argue that it's not true. We are better off than yesterday. At least. But we are not close to being there yet. More to do. And let me close by saying, the 10 working days the president called us for, we'll work. We'll do our work. The issue about Bill Martin shouldn't die tomorrow. Because in Liberia, 3 days business, then it's finished. Bill Martin is not new. It been since 2001. It was restated in 2013 by some people who stay in the legislature. Mm-hmm. It was extended in 2023 by some of us in the rescue mission. At that time, we were opposition.
And even some were on the other side.
Yeah. There is nothing new. No new discovery here. Let's fix it.
Okay, no new discovery. Let's fix it. His name is Abraham Darius DeLong, Senator of Montserrat County. Next up is the news. My name is Julius J. Tomorrow will be another day.
The press, because it's unfortunate that you don't have a few minutes on you guys, but I'm grateful this afternoon to be with you and then to grant this opportunity so that our Liberian people can understand some of the things that are in the airwaves. So this morning I had an encounter with the Liberian National Police from the wing of the House of Representatives. When I was entering from the side of the university, I was never aware of any protests or whatever. Later, I tried to understand some of those. I met a very huge presence of police with arms pointed out towards the University of Liberia. So I got concerned. I thought something was happening at the grounds of the Capitol, so that I could have been informed not to come to work or go back, because everybody's security is of personal concern. So I decided to stop and inquire from the police. But unfortunately for me, I think 112, that is 112, who was the supervisor at the time when I met this police officer, I asked him what was happening at the grounds of the Capitol, that all the kind of huge police presence are there. They referred me to him. He came to my car and asked me, sir, what you want to know? I said, I just want to know if something is obtaining so that I can be informed whether to continue to come to work or to turn my car around and go back, because I don't want to be involved in any stuff. He told me nobody going to tell you anything. In fact, they are protecting us, and what I want to know and why am I asking the question. So I asked him. It was my right, I think, to understand, because to see huge police presence and nothing in our chat room as legislators that could inform me something is obtaining, it was alarming. Why we're talking unidentified officer walk there and say, I mark you, this man is arrogant, and we deal with him. If police officer that bearing arms will respond to a certain lawmaker, representative of the Republic of Liberia, because he asked a question, I'm wondering what our ordinary citizens are going through throughout the bailiwick of this republic. So a communication was sent to the speaker. The speaker were written to invite the Minister of Justice and then the police IG. In fact, I immediately placed call to Gregory Coleman. I called 102. He refused to answer. And the police IG responded to my call and said he was going to inquire and get right back to me. It's been more than 4 to 5 hours here. Not if I told me anything to say, oh, Honorable Cole, this happened or that happened. And then we wrote. My disappointment this afternoon was after the communication were read, they were given an opportunity to speak, and then we lay the premise of our communication, and then we had an agreement that these individuals should have been invited to appear in public plenary to tell us what informed their actions and why they did what they did, because I thought they were operating as a partisan police, because for the police to have treated or respond to a lawmaker the way they did, our concern. So it tells me there are people within the security apparatus that have marked certain people, and they got a reason why. If a security man tells you that I mark you, it goes beyond ordinary conversation. So that's why my life is at stake. My life was threatened by this police officer. I mean, there was a squad of employees of the House of Representatives that were standing there. They were watching and listening. So for the speaker, the motion was now proffered that these people should appear in open plenary. That was the agreement that we had. For them to tell me, oh no, let's go in the speaker office tomorrow so that we can invite them. When even the speaker himself, at the time this incident took place, the speaker sent our security officer here that everybody widely referred to I wanted to go and call this officer who did it, the 112. He sent back to the speaker and said, call 102 of the Liberian National Police. You were not coming. You are going to contact him. That is a gross disrespect. And I don't think any police officer of this republic should be able to do that. So I got disappointed. And I went back to them. I restated my case that these people should appear in open plenary. And in an attempt to avoid that, to refuse for their appearance in open plenary, I think I will take other actions that will be legally suitable for me to protect my life. Because if my life is threatened by armed officer, then it is important for me to look into that matter and then to take further steps. So, I mean, that is what I thought to make it public, that my family members, my friends and colleagues of the House of Representatives need to be aware that 112 initiated a process that my life was threatened as a police officer, and he must be made to appear here with the Minister of Justice and the police IG. This gentleman must be questioned. We cannot have people in a space of the security apparatus behaving the way they behave.
Okay, Honorable Yekazi Zogbe from the Spoon Network. So you talk about other lawmakers being around, because in terms of such investigation, evidence is needed, or pieces of evidence are needed. So, I mean, who were the representatives? Who were the lawmakers around who, you know,
No,
might
the
have heard
lawmaker-
this statement?
I know we were identified Rep 38, I think with this Wrangler right at the back of my car when I stopped before I could even stop, he was not, but later on he came, he was parking there.
Is it
When
small
the-
mobile?
I think it was small mobile because he was in the car, he did not disembark his car. But what I said is the lawmakers, employees were standing on the side, on the same, there were squad of employees of the House of Representatives that were standing there that could be identified. In later on, our 1 or 2 that we refer to here, he came, he was standing there. He listened to all the conversations, so he was not. In fact, the police themselves, unauthorized, they were recording me. When I told him, oh, but your officer is recording me for what? He said, yeah, because you're arrogant, so let him record you.
So in terms of investigation, do you have your own pieces of evidence to avail?
Of course. All the staffers said that were there, I know all of them.
Okay.
They were being invited, and they listened from the genesis of the conversation. The CO5 from Red Light, who I know very well, that all live in the same area, he was sitting there from the beginning of the conversation to the end. So I know him, even though he's police officer, but on oath, I know he will protect and defend the credibility of himself as a president. And beside that, our staffers, they were on the same when we had the altercations, and I told them what they were doing, it was unprofessional. I don't think that it was wrong for me to ask them a question, and they were recording me. Before you call somebody, it should be per the consent of the person. You should tell the person, I'm recording you. But this one want to authorize the people, he said recording, because he's arrogant, he's rude. If you can insult me like that, I wonder if you could do it to Greg Rukoma or the Justice Minister or any other person in the bailiwick of this republic.
Representative Ko, my name is Wilmot Conant with DN News. The last time your colleague Safogo was also complaining on the same thing. If nothing is done this time around, what would the legislature do? What would be a next course of actions? No,
we are going to follow a legal suit.
Okay.
And one of the things I have said to them, and I went to the Speaker office, a squad of lawmakers were there, and they told them if for them to have diverted the motion from public appearance to the office of the Speaker, they are not going to accept it. These gentlemen must appear in public plenary to respond. Even if there's 10 days they cannot appear, I will be persistent and consistent that they will appear, because my case will not be swept under the carpet. Now, it's not about me as a person.
Okay.
Many times in the public, when people see altercations between police officers or security officers and lawmakers, sometimes the people think they're above the law. But you need to understand the genesis of some of these conversations. For a lawmaker to have stopped to ask what is happening at his workplace, I think the professional and decent thing to have done was for the police to say, we have a security intelligence, honorable, about everything is under control, you can please go to your office. I was going to go.
You stay, why do you know the officer?
Yeah, he's 112, that the badge number.
Have you met somewhere before?
I have not seen, but I think they are, so his action